Anthony's vision was blurry, warhammers were battering his skull, and his body had become sluggish to the point where even lifting his hand required monumental effort. If he included that time when Director Azrael had captured him, this was the second time he had been poisoned. As an incubus, a creature who sustained himself on mana, he had a certain level of resistance to poisons. That did not mean, however, that he was immune, especially if the poison was not magical in nature.
You want me to help you kill someone?
As he spoke those words, Anthony tried to figure out when this woman had poisoned him. He hadn't given her any opportunities. She had never drugged any of his food or drinks when she joined him for lunch at the Institution of Magical Sciences, and he never saw her outside of school. So how could she have poisoned him? Unless... Anthony vaguely recalled an intruder sneaking into his apartment, kissing him, and shoving something down his throat. The object had dissolved after he'd swallowed it and nothing had happened, so he had honestly forgotten about it. Professor Inconsino had also looked over him and not found anything strange. His trust in that woman was such that he was incapable of thinking she could miss anything. But it seemed even his esteemed professor could make mistakes.
That's right.
Celine was no longer smiling. Her eyes were narrowed, hands clenching and unclenching as though just thinking about the person she wanted to kill caused her to feel unbearable hatred. Her entire body shuddered from the overwhelming emotions bombarding her. Anthony could see her hatred manifested physically through her body language.
Why should we help you?
Asked Brianna. The redhead already had her double-bladed sword out. The Geminius sword shone in the light of so many neon signs as she pointed it at Celine. Despite Brianna's obviously threatening stance, Celine appeared unbothered by the other woman. In fact, she wasn't even paying attention to Brianna. She was staring at Anthony. She had been this whole time.
Why should I do what you want?
Anthony asked. A coy smile caused her lips to curl as if she had been waiting for him to ask that question. Celine said,
Don't you want me to remove that poison from you? Well, it isn't deadly. It also isn't something that you can just get rid of. That poison was made from a combination of herbs that can only be found in my personal garden. They've been infused with the darkness element to enhance their effectiveness. I'm the only one in the entire world who can make the antidote for you.
Celine walked over to them, hips swaying hypnotically from side to side. Anthony was sure he would have appreciated the sight even though her body was covered by a cloak, but he could barely even see. His vision had become fuzzy.
This poison is one that makes your entire body feel heavy, like you are being weighed down by a mountain. It will give you headaches, exhaust your strength, and make it so you can never function properly again. It is also self-propagating. It is a poison that latches onto the host and drains their vitality in order to continue existing.
Brianna was still right next to Anthony, her blade drawn, feet spread apart, and knees bent as though ready for action. But she wasn't attacking. Perhaps she knew that attacking when she didn't know how to cure the poison was a bad idea. That said, her grip on the Geminius sword had tightened so much her knuckles had turned white. Celine knelt before him. The wide smile on her face remained. It was like she took sick amusement in his suffering.
You know, I originally didn't want to do this. My original goal was to simply seduce you and convince you to help me afterward. I figured you were the kind of man who would do anything for his bondmates. However, immediately after I joined your college, you became wary of me. You never let me get any closer than was necessary to maintain an amicable relationship. So, you could say that what is happening right now is all your fault.
Anthony wanted to speak, but all he could do was groan. The poison was beginning to affect him more as time went on. He could barely even think straight, so the most he could do now was listen to this woman blame him for what was happening.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.